continued their dominance of New York last night, picking up their 10th win in 13 tries against the division rival Mets. Tonight's matchup features a contrast in styles as Anibal Sanchez and his varied repertoire squares off against flame-throwing Jacob deGrom. The Friday Night Showdown is brought to you by Kaiser Permanente, and it comes to you next live from the Big Apple.
If that doesn't get you fired up, I'm not sure what will. It's a beautiful night for baseball here in New York. Game 2 of 4 between the Braves, who start play 1/2 game behind the Phillies in the East, and the New York Mets, who have Jacob deGrom lying in wait tonight. Hi again, friends. Chip and Joe. Great to be back with you at the ballpark. Great start to the series, partner. 4-2 Atlanta got the win. And the Venezuelan Viper, Ronald Acuna, off to the great start in the leadoff spot for Atlanta. Got things going early last night.
Well, what do you want out of your leadoff hitter?
Right.
You want a guy to get on base, right? Because what do you need him to do? You need him to be on base for all the thumpers and score a bunch of runs. Well, he is doing just that. Last night, a leadoff triple came around to score. He also singled, stole a base. He has been on fire since being moved to the leadoff spot. In fact, in the 11 games he's been in the leadoff spot, he has scored 11 runs. And when Acuna scores a run in a game, the Braves are 21-7. So that's what you want out of this guy, the way he's going.
Now, the challenge for Atlanta tonight is a great one. For Jacob deGrom leads the world in ERA this year, Joe. It's hard to believe he has but 5 runs because the Mets cannot support him offensively this year.
These are ridiculous numbers for Jacob deGrom. He could easily be 16-0 if he had any run support. But this guy's 5-6, the best ERA in Major League Baseball. But as you said, Chip, he has received 2 runs of support or less in 13 of his 21 starts. How about this? The team, the Mets themselves, despite how well he's pitched, have a losing record. And even though against the Braves this year in 4 starts, he's only given up 2 runs in 25 innings, the Mets are 0-4 in those games. That's hard to believe.
He is indeed the Cy Young leader. And when I say Cy, I spell it S-I-G-H here for the New York Mets. It's game 2. Anibal Sanchez has the ball for Atlanta. The Braves will tell us what they think about the challenge of facing Jacob deGrom. Kelsey Wingert has that for you and more as we continue from Citi Field in Flushing, New York after the break.
Atlanta Braves baseball is sponsored by your local Ford dealer and the Georgia Lottery.
The clouds have given way to sun here at Citi Field finally, and we are just minutes away from first pitch of Game 2 between the Braves and the Mets. And last night, Atlanta continued their 4-game winning streak with that 4-2 win over the Mets. But you guys, the road does not get any easier tonight as they have a big test, as you heard Chip and Joe talking about it, in Jacob deGrom. Now, deGrom has faced the Braves 4 times this season, and you heard Joe say it, the Mets haven't won one of those games, even though he's pitched to a .72 ERA. And our guys in the clubhouse know the kind of challenge they have, and they also think Jacob deGrom is one of the best in all of baseball.
He knows exactly what he wants to do. He can set you up when you think you got to figure it out, like he did. My last time he started, the last at bat, he went 3 straight changeups, and he's never done that before. So he's always making adjustments to you.
I think he's the best pitcher in baseball, personally. If he makes his pitches, you know, he's very tough to hit. You just got to hopefully he makes a mistake, and you know, he doesn't make too many mistakes as it is. He's, you know, he's just one of those tough at bats. You know, going in there, you're going to have a low-scoring game with him, and you know, like I said, just hopefully he makes mistakes and you capitalize on his mistakes.
Talking about him right now, you're not making me excited for this in 3 hours, but it's fun facing him because you know you're going to get the best out of him, and I like competing against the best, and I think he's the top 2 pitcher in the game.
When you have guys like that giving you that high of praise, you know you're doing something right, but the Braves are going to hope that he does a few things wrong tonight. He hasn't won a game since June 18th. We'll hope that that continues tonight. Well, we have Game 2 coming your way between the Braves and the Mets. Anibal Sanchez taking on Jacob deGrom. We have Game 2 from Citi Field coming up next.
Citi Field, presented by Kaiser Permanente.
Well, about 2 hours ago, it was absolutely pouring here at Citi Field in New York, but the skies have cleared, the humidity is gone. It's a beautiful night for baseball and a perfect night for the Braves to win their 5th consecutive game. Ronald Acuna Jr. leads off the Toyota starting lineup for an Atlanta club that still is 1/2 game behind the Phillies in the East. Albies, Freeman, Markakis, no surprises. Kurt Suzuki bats 5th. And Charlie Culberson will give Dansby Swanson the night off. He'll be in shortstop. Braves will have their hands full. Jacob deGrom, as we've told you, is an outstanding starter with no run support at all.
30 years old, 6'4", 180 out of DeLand, Florida. That's still his home. Last 10 starts, 1-6. As Kelsey said, no win since the middle of June.
And his first pitch of the night is a 96-mile-an-hour strike to Ronald Acuna, who tripled and scored in the first inning against Jason Vargas last night.
94-97 on his fastball, 2-seamer, 4-seamer, great slider, excellent curveball, and a good changeup too.
That wasn't the changeup. And it missed up and in. 2 balls and a strike. Really loved hearing the comments from Nick Markakis and Freddie Freeman in the Braves clubhouse from Kelsey as to how you approach DeGrom and where they rank him among the pitchers in Major League Baseball, as he just paints Acuna for his first strikeout of the night. When a guy as talented and accomplished as Nick Markakis says, quote, I think he might be the best pitcher in the big leagues, that should open your eyes, as should that pitch.
Well, that pitch is very indicative of what you will see a lot of tonight, and that is great command, excellent command to both sides of the plate with all his pitches and with a lot of velocity.
A 5-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio for DeGrom. He's given up 35 fewer hits than innings pitched this year. He has the best ERA in baseball. He's given up only 7 home runs this year. And yes, despite a 5-6 record, you could make a case that he is a Cy Young candidate. And Frazier sniffs out a bunt try by Albies and makes the play. And quickly 2 are out.
I asked his old manager about him today, Terry Collins. I said, we all know about his arsenal. We all know about his lack of run support. What else is it that makes him great? And he said his willingness to do whatever he has to do to be good. He is a tremendous competitor, and even on those nights where he doesn't have his best stuff, he will keep you in the ball game and pitch to win.
He's trying not to laugh as he faces Freddie Freeman. These two have had a great head-to-head rivalry. I think Freddie might have said something to DeGrom about getting sniper when he went after that bunt. So this will be a great matchup tonight. It's a matchup that Freddie has more than held his own in. He's got 11 hits, including 2 homers against DeGrom and 38 career at-bats.
We were seeing some highlights from previous action earlier this year. He was pitching Freddie like that. Slider down and in. 2-seamer running down and away. Changeup down and away. Nothing was in the middle.
And then he couldn't pull the trigger on a knee-high 97-mile-an-hour fastball. And Freddie beats the shift with a little dribbler down the third base line. So there goes the no-hitter, as Bob Murphy would have said. Let's see what Freddie Freeman will do as he looks at DeGrom.
You don't even want to look over there. But Freddie will take it. That letter high, just fight it off, nobody home.
That's awesome. A 2-out single for the smiling Braves first baseman, who now has a 5-game hitting streak. Here's Nick Markakis. And he has a cue shot foul at the plate. No balls and a strike. Braves have beaten the Mets 10 out of 13 times. They've had double digits in wins in the season series in 12 of the last 18 years.
DeGrom has pitched 8 innings 5 times this year. He's 1-2 in those games. He's pitched between 7 and 8 innings 9 times. He's 2-2 in those games.
Bautista holds Freeman at first as DeGrom's to the belt. And a shot toward left. Conforto retreats, still going to the track, and he'll get there. And that retires the side. Markakis hit it hard, but not hard enough. Freeman stranded, and a half innings in the books in New York. Sanchez goes to work for Atlanta. Joe looking for win number 6.
Anibal on the year is 5-3 with a good ERA of 3.0. His last 5 starts, he's gone 6 or more innings in all 5 of those. That's what's been really good about Anibal, is eating innings, a 3.5 ERA, 8 walks, 30 strikeouts over that period of time. His 4 keys to pitching success, well, number 1 is very obvious tonight, run support. He may not get a lot of run support because of Jacob deGrom. He's got to know that. He's got to pitch every inning like he's got to save every run. So ground balls will be certainly a necessity against a team that's 3rd from the bottom in the National League in ground ball in double plays that they've hit into. They've hit into 84 of them.
Trying times for Mickey Callaway, the rookie skipper of the New York Mets, as Brandon Nimmo leads off. Nimmo, a leadoff homer in the first inning last night off Mike Fultonevich. That was his 14th long ball of the season and his 3rd leadoff homer this season. Good looking young player. Off the plate and even count. Nimmo out of Cheyenne, Wyoming, did not have a high school baseball program. The Mets scouted him while he was playing Legion and travel ball. Made him a number 1 pick, and here he is. That is not a normal route to the major leagues.
He must have really put on a show in some of the showcases and summer ball tournaments.
Broken bat, line drive to right. Markakis dives and hangs on. He'll make the play for out number 1. Nice jump, nice results. And Nimmo's retired.
And if you want to add a 3rd key tonight, good defense. He needs that behind him tonight, like this. Nice play by Nick. The better defense behind him tonight, the less stress he's going to have in trying to prevent even 1 run from scoring.
Jose Bautista's hit a dry spell. He's 0 for his last 15. Braves kept him under control last night. Bautista struck out 3 times after almost homering in the first inning. He's batting .206 overall this year. A small sample of that came while wearing a Braves uniform. And that just missed. Ball 1, strike 1 to Bautista, who's playing first base for the Mets tonight. Good cut, fouled back toward us. So the 1-2 pitch is down and away, and Bautista a 2-2 count. Jose will strike out, as we told you last night, but he's hitting second because he can get on base. He's not afraid to take a walk. He's earned 43 of those this year. Base is empty for him as Sanchez gets a sign he likes. And struck him out. Braves went there to get Bautista a time or 2 last night as well, and he couldn't pull the trigger. Anibal has his first strikeout.
They certainly did, Chip, and this is another good pitch. Busting him in. Looked like maybe a front door cutter that started in, and he gave up on it and came back.
So the first 2 Mets on Mickey Callaway's Toyota starting lineup are taken care of. Now you've got Michael Conforto hitting 3rd. He's been one of their hottest hitters. Frazier, Jackson, Rosario, Mesoraco also in the starting 9 tonight as Sanchez delivers a strike. Mets are delighted to have Conforto back from a very serious shoulder injury suffered last year, and they're delighted with what he's doing after the All-Star break. 3 homers, 9 RBIs, and a .317 batting average. There are not many Mets that can say they're that hot at the plate right now. See if Sanchez can work around him. And he's ahead of him, a ball and 2 strikes. Line drive into center. Ender is there, and Anibal has a 13 pitch. 1-2-3. Bottom of the first. No score in New York. It features a great lineup of events, including autographs, a Chipper Jones pregame ceremony, alumni softball home run derby, and alumni photos on the field. Go to Braves.com and get your tickets for the alumni weekend events and see what else will be happening at beautiful SunTrust Park. Here in the second, Kurt Suzuki, Ender Inciarte, and Johan Camargo are coming up against Jacob deGrom. Kurt's got a 4-game hitting streak. He's 4 for 16 in that stretch, batting .263 for the year. And deGrom throws another strike. You're going to see a lot of them.
Real simple mechanics from deGrom. Uses his height to his advantage, throws downhill, doesn't fall all over the mound or anything, drives to the plate. Very simple. And every pitch looks like the one before, whether it's an off-speed pitch or a fastball. It's hard to pick anything up.
Rob coming off a loss against the Pirates last time out. 7 innings of 3-run baseball, but the Mets didn't score. 5-zip against the Burgers last time. One ball, 2 strikes. A shot toward left that Conforto will catch up to. There's out number 1.
In those 4 starts against the Braves, he's pitched 7 innings 3 times and 4 innings once. He only went 4 innings, you might remember, because he had to come out of the game, scared the Mets to death. He was having some tricep stiffness, and they took him out for precautionary reasons. He'd given up 2 hits and no runs that day.
Ender swinging a hot bat. 14 hits for him since the All-Star break. No swing. Ball 1.
Brian Snitker said that he swapped places between Ender and Camargo, but just because Ender's swinging the bat well and because of his speed, he wanted to maybe get an extra at bat or 2 along the way.
That's dumped down the left field line, and a nice catch by the ball boy at the end of the tarp. He'll be on FS1 later tonight after that thrilling catch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ender's got his average back over 250. the screen and out of play. It's now 1-2. Little pop. And Conforto makes that play, charging in from his spot at left. And Ender is out number 2. Not a lot of hard contact, which is also something DeGrom excels at on the Mets mound.
Well, it's a lot more pleasant night tonight for the players than it was last night. Talking to Mike Fultonevich after the game, he said, I was out of gas, you know, after 6 innings last night. We saw a lot of perspiration flowing off guys. They were miserable from the heat and humidity, even though the temperature was like mid-80s. Tonight, much more pleasant.
Johan Camargo has a 3-game hit streak, and he unloads down the right field line. Did he keep it fair? You bet he did, into the second deck. He jumps all over a 1-strike pitch, and he puts the Braves in front. His 9th homer since June the 1st, and it's the Braves who lead 1-0.
This is such a pretty swing and such a quick swing with his hands. There's no wasted body motion. It's all hands getting the barrel to it. And you know, last night was kind of a Johan Camargo game. He was 1 for 4, had a double, and struck out 3 times. And in the strikeouts, he didn't look very good. But he can do things like this with one swing of the bat that can be a game changer.
And it almost looked, Joe, like he was jammed, but still was able to get the barrel of the bat to the ball.
That's his hands flipping that barrel through.
Wow. Quick strike for Camargo, his 13th homer. And DeGrom trails 1-0 for Charlie Culberson. Only the 8th home run that DeGrom has allowed all year. And so now the pressure swings to this beleaguered Mets offense. They know they got to score 2 for DeGrom to win the game, and they haven't done that very often for him. Boy, early runs so big.
Huge.
And Charlie is down swinging, and that retires the side. Another 2-out run for Atlanta. A lightning strike from Johan Camargo after the thunderstorms rolled through earlier. Into the second deck in right. After 1.5, Atlanta 1, New York 0 in Game 2.
Braves a 1-0 lead over the Mets as we head to the bottom of the second inning. Anibal Sanchez back out for some work versus the Mets. Now with the addition of Kevin Gausman, Max Fried has been moved to the bullpen for now with hopes to use him in the doubleheader on Tuesday. And we spoke so much about the impact that Anibal Sanchez has had on these young pitchers. And yesterday I saw him call Max Fried over to his locker to make sure he was good with all this moving around from bullpen to starting. And he wanted to make sure he didn't need any advice and if he needed any help for that. And guys, you know, I know we've talked about this a lot, but it is so difficult to overstate the impact that Anibal Sanchez has had on and off the field for this Braves team, and it has been such a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, you're right, Kelsey. You cannot overstate it. It's such a pleasure to see a guy do this and contribute the way he has, and not just on the field.
Todd Frazier leads off the second for New York. 1 ball, no strikes to Todd, who just was activated from the DL before the game last night. He was out with a rib cage issue. He went 0 for 4 in his return. And a pop fly out of play. Guys like Sanchez are worth their weight in gold because of the youthful nature of this Braves pitching staff, I think. But it's one thing to be a wise counsel. It's another to go out and perform at peak form, and that's exactly what Sanchez has done. And he is earning these starts on merit, not just because of his past track record.
Well, I was amused at some of the national writers, broadcasters, and what have you talking about what are the Braves going to do before the deadline, and they were analyzing the Braves pitching.
To center. Playable for Ender, who broke back, now has to charge in and gets there. That fooled him, but he made the play. 1 out.
And I heard this more than once. In fact, I heard it several times. People talking about Anibal Sanchez. Well, that can't possibly keep up. He can't possibly keep up that pace. He can't possibly carry a 3 ERA into September. And I thought, have you guys been watching him pitch? You know, he may not win every game. He may have some bad breaks here and there, but he's pitching terrific. Can't assume that he's, with the adjustments he's made, that he's not going to keep it up.
Well, I think that's the key word you just said, adjustments. You know, this is an adapt or die world of Major League Baseball, and he has made the adaptation on the fly. He tried to overpower hitters without overpowering stuff in his last days in Detroit. He has reinvented himself here. And as we've said so many times, in this era where every starter seemingly throwing 97 miles an hour, he's really become a specialty type of pitcher.
This little turn he's got with his hip, when he turns that front shoulder, tucks it before he delivers it, that is so effective on his off-speed pitches. Because you're looking with that turn when he then steps toward you, everything appears to be something hard, fastball, whatever, maybe even a slider. But with his changeup or slow curve, it becomes very effective and very disguised by that delivery.
He's ahead of Austin Jackson. 2 quick strikes. He didn't chase that one. Jackson 5 out of 13 at the plate since joining the Mets. He's been with the Giants and the Rangers this year. New York got him July 27th. Strike 3, paints the inside corner. That's the pitch that got Bautista looking. And it's 5 up, 5 down for Anibal tonight.
Cutter again, almost the exact same pitch that he threw. Bautista caused him to kind of give up on it, and then it moves just enough to catch the inside part. Got that working tonight. Looks great.
Jose Reyes batting a .194. And he takes a little low. 1 ball, no strikes. Reyes doubled and scored one of the 2 Mets runs last night. Coming off a 2-homer game against the Nationals before Atlanta got to town. So he's been swinging a hot bat. It's a corner, and now Anibal ahead 1 and 2. He's been ahead of almost every Mets hitter so far. That's over the screen into the seats, and Jose Reyes is still alive.
Last night I was talking about Reyes being able to use his top hand real well. Hit a couple of balls hard, including a double. But when you watch his positioning of his hands out away from his body, when he starts to move them back, the ball is there. I don't know how in the world he still gets the bat on the ball. Be really strong, but so far this year not strong enough for that sub 200 average.
He'll try to reach and bring Ahmed Rosario to the plate. Rosario, the young Mets shortstop, batting 7th this evening. The 2-2 pitch. And a rare full count. Ground ball to second. Ozzy's there from the cut of the grass, and Sanchez perfect through 2 innings. He leads 1-0. He leads off the 3rd when we come back.
By Xfinity. Xfinity delivers the fastest internet with the best in-home Wi-Fi experience. And by Delta Airlines.
Braves 1, Mets 0 on a Johan Camargo home run. Braves are leading Jacob deGrom, and Anibal Sanchez will start things off. Joe, you had an amazing number about opposing pitchers versus Jacob deGrom at the plate.
Yeah, they got no shot.
Well, okay, let's go ahead and move over to Acuna, who's on deck.
All right, they are, so far on the year, they are 0 for 33, 22 strikeouts, slash line zeros. He has not been to a 2-0, 3-0, or 3-1 count on any pitcher all year long. He's only had 3 balls hit to the outfield by a pitcher, all outs. And I'm told that in a game he pitched against the Padres recently, he struck out their pitcher in 24 seconds.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, a little longer for Sanchez because he had a foul ball in there, but that's 0 for 34 and 23 strikeouts by deGrom's mound opponents while at the plate, and that's his 3rd strikeout tonight.
And to make matters worse, he's a good hitter, so you can't exactly take him for granted.
Acuna struck out looking to start the game, and he doesn't wait to get to 2 strikes. That one's guided up the middle. A 1-out single. Big turnaround first, and he'll slam on the brakes. So that's a 4-game hit streak for Ronald. He's 7 out of 14 in that stretch.
And he jumped on the first pitch. Slider up. Nick Markakis talked about mistakes. There's one.
Let's see if Atlanta tries to manufacture some offense. Acuna's 6 out of 7 in steals and has a big lead. Ozzy the batter. deGrom to the belt. Braves have stolen 61 bases as a team this year. They had 77 total steals a year ago.
About 23% on caught stealings for Mesoraco.
Corey Blazer let you know where the pitch location was. You heard him say it was outside, and it was. 1 ball, no strikes. Pop fly foul over the Braves dugout, and it's even. We'll keep you posted on the Eastern scores of importance tonight. Won't be a score in Washington this evening. The Reds and Nationals were rained out. They'll play a doubleheader tomorrow. The Phillies and Marlins are scoreless after 2 at Citizens Bank. The Phillies got 4 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning to sink Miami last night and keep the Braves a half game back.
Yeah, they did most of that off Barraclaw, I believe, if not all of it.
Rhys Hoskins is red hot. Phillies have won 35 games at home. They'll try to protect their home field again tonight. Woo. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ozzie didn't think much of that call. Another half step for Acuna at first. He's going, and the pitch is grounded to the right side. Reyes gloves, grabs, throws to first, out there, throw to third, out there. What a play by Reyes. He robs Albies, and Bautista with a heads-up play throws it across the diamond for a most unconventional inning-ending double play.
If Acuna hadn't hesitated, he would have made it easily, but he stopped, turned around, looked, and then Bautista nailed it.
He-Race in Atlanta threat in the top of the 3rd inning. Meanwhile, Anibal Sanchez 6 up, 6 down. He'll have the bottom portion of the Mets order coming up. And that starts with Ahmed Rosario, their shortstop. Atlanta leads 1-0 on a Camargo 2-out solo home run. And that's taken low, ball 1. Rough second half start for Rosario, hitting a .188 since the All-Star break. And this one's dumped down the first base line. It's a fair ball. Markakis will pick it up, but not before Rosario bloops a double for the first Mets hit. That's his 17th double, and he's in scoring position with nobody out.
It's almost like a half swing. He just dropped the bat on it accidentally. Mets catching a break. Mets also caught a break not having to face Freddie Freeman with a runner in scoring position in the top of the inning when Acuna tried to go to third.
Devin Mesoraco is the Mets catcher tonight. They got him from the Reds for Matt Harvey. Mesoraco hitting .229 on the year. And didn't get that. It's a strike. Mesoraco, one of many Mets that has not enjoyed hitting at home. He's got a .181 batting average so far this year. In fact, the Mets amazingly are 13 games under 500 at Citi Field at 21 wins, 34 losses. One ball, one strike.
You know what, though? They've got good numbers, a good record against everybody else in the National League East except for Atlanta. They are 19-23 against the East.
Boy, hope a couple of trends continue. As I said, the Braves are 10-3 against these guys. But you hope the Mets play up to that scouting report the rest of the year against the Phillies and the Nationals. They're 5-3 against Philly, 6-6 against Washington. As Anibal readies with a 2-2 pitch. And it's way high, a full count. Braves were in charge, Syndergaard and DeGrom would pitch in every series against Philadelphia and Washington the rest of the year. Braves will miss Syndergaard in this series. They've got their hands full with DeGrom tonight, but lead by a run. The pitch is hammered foul and out of play. Mets are hitting .211 as a team at home. This is their 56th home game. Not surprisingly, just 45 homers in this cavernous park. They're hitting .245 as a team away from the Big Apple. And Mesoraco putting up a good fight here.
Is it a low batting average this year for the Mets? It's low by Major League history standards. Lowest at home since 1913. Only two other teams have lower marks.
That's pulled toward third. Camargo will look the runner back and a laser to first for the first out. Boy, Johan did a really nice job on that play. He just held the ball knowing it was a catcher running, and he forced Rosario to take 3 steps back towards second just in case he thought about moving up on that ground ball to the left side.
Yeah, he didn't just freeze him. He made him go back.
So here's DeGrom, as Joe said, a good hitting pitcher. Don't be fooled by a .111 average. He struck out 17 times and takes a strike there.
Now, if you don't know the story about DeGrom, he was at Stetson University, was a shortstop, started pitching, and the Mets obviously, and so did other teams, liked what they saw as a pitcher.
Up the middle, a base hit. Here comes Rosario around third. Ender loads up. Throw to the plate is going to be late. It gets by Kurt Suzuki, and DeGrom helps himself. An RBI single, second on the throw. We're tied 1 apiece.
His 6th hit, his 2nd RBI. Just reached out, hit that one right back where it came from. Ender charged it hard, came up throwing, but Rosario runs well. And they were not going to get him even with a good catch on that hop.
Well, if the rest of the Mets offense can't do it, DeGrom will do it himself. And we're back to the top of the order in a tie game. Here's Nimmo. He lined out to right. 1-1 your score. And a cue shot foul, strike 1. In that last loss by Jacob DeGrom against the Pirates, he had a couple of hits against Pittsburgh. So it was virtually a one-man wrecking crew at the plate. And he's got the game tied thanks to a 1-out single here in the 3rd. And now Sanchez behind 3-1 with Bautista waiting on deck.
Talking last night though about how much Nimmo strikes out and be a good time. Even though it's 3-1, he may be trying to lift one out of here, get him to chase a ball.
That's hammered toward right, but into the seats. That's a full count. Nimmo has 107 strikeouts for New York. Far and away the most on their club. Let's see what the Braves come up with on a full count pitch. It's ball 4. So first and second, here's Bautista. He took strike 3 his first time up.
Here's where one of the keys comes into play. Already given up a run, but have a chance to get out of the inning with a ground ball. He can get a double play turn.
Bautista thinks about hitting the ball in the air as much as he can. It may surprise you, he's only hitting a 1 double play this year.
That doesn't actually surprise me since he's an uppercutter.
He's hitting over 300 with runners in scoring position this season. 29 RBIs, 8 homers. 2 on, 1 out for him here. And he didn't get it. It's an even count. Long inning for Anibal. He's about to throw his 21st pitch in inning number 3. Popped up and no play. Bautista needs 1 run scored to get to 1,000 as a major leaguer. He's a home run shy of tying Jack Clark for 98th all-time. Clark has 340 of them. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Clark was one heck of a clutch hitter too, wasn't he?
All those speedsters in St. Louis when I was a kid, and Jack Clark in the middle of the lineup. The beast among the fleas, they said. As Sanchez thinks about a 2-2 pitch, here it is. And the lollipop just missed low at 66 miles an hour. That looked pretty good.
Sure it did. Guess it was low. Only low where Kurt caught it, not where it crossed the plate.
4th full count pitch. And Bautista didn't get it. Big strikeout. That's 3 strikeouts for Sanchez, 2 outs, and Conforto's coming up.
Change up and a beaut, right in the right spot. Remember, he struck him out with that front door cutter. First time he was looking for something hard, didn't get it.
So Sanchez an out away from keeping the game tied. Conforto lined out to end the first. Grom's had to run the bases. His 3rd inning. He's been out there a while. See if that has effect on him in the 4th. No balls and a strike. Ball's breaking out that big, slow 70-mile-an-hour pitch a couple of times here in the Mets 3rd.
Call that his wiffle ball change. It kind of floats up there.
Sanchez 29 pitches in his first 2 innings. He's got 27 here in the 3rd. As we approach 8 o'clock, the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and that'll retire the side. Rosario doubled to start the inning. DeGrom brought him home with a base hit to center. After 3, it's a 1-1 score with 3, 4, and 5 on the Braves lineup card coming up in New York. Freeman time, and 4 has been a terrific number for the Braves first baseman coming into play tonight. He's hitting .400 against the Mets this year. Let's see what he can do against Jacob deGrom. He picked up the first Braves hit, and he's picked up a lot of them, as you see, in our Georgia lottery hitting the jackpot.
Pretty nice OPS against one team, .400 batting average, a couple of homers, 12 RBIs, 11 runs scored. And he's a terrific leadoff man. Get something started.
A 2-out single in the first inning for Freeman, just squibbed over toward a vacant hole at third base where Todd Frazier is standing now. And deGrom was smiling about it. So was Freddie. He didn't really want to look at Jacob when he got to first base, but he'll take that hit, his 12th career against deGrom in 39 at bats. And that's out of Mesoraco's glove. It's even. There are many who are sabermetrically inclined in baseball that have advocated getting rid of the wind to gauge the value of a starting pitcher. And when you look at Jacob deGrom's numbers, you could see the point that they're making. The lack of run support is the reason why he's under .500 at 5-6 on the year. Max Scherzer won his 15th game last night while pitching for the Washington Nationals. But don't be fooled. This guy has to be in the Cy Young conversation because of his overwhelmingly good body of work. He can't control what the offense does behind him, unless, of course, he has a bat in his hand.
Exactly.
And our great stat man upstairs, Anthony, tells us the last pitcher to win a Cy Young Award with a losing record and a sub-2 ERA, as Freeman takes a walk, was over 100 years ago. Jim Scott went 20-21 with a 1.90 ERA for the 1913 Chicago White Sox. And Joey threw a whopping 312 1/3 innings that year.
He was 20-21.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's a losing record, but he won 20 games.
Well, there is an asterisk there. But I mean, think of the historical perspective that deGrom could achieve if he wins that award in the National League this year. I think I read Felix Hernandez is the man that has the fewest wins among starters to win the Cy Young Award.
I think you're right.
That was with Seattle a couple of years ago. And that one's hammered into right field and almost picked off Freddie Freeman. He had to sit down, otherwise he would have worn that off the batting helmet. And Markakis with the rare smile. And Freeman, thankful he's alive. That was close.
This one was chasing Freddie because it was low and hooking. Can't believe it didn't nail him.
So an excellent start for the 4th inning. A walk and a single. Great chance for the Braves to take the lead right back. And Kurt Suzuki is the batter. Ender to follow. 1-1 game. Let's take another look at the hard hit ball by Markakis.
That missed me.
Everybody's glad it did, except for the Mets. 1 ball, no strikes. And a bouncing ball hit toward Frazier. He's going to apply the tag. He's going to throw low at first. Bautista can't hang on. And the Braves have 2 on with 1 out. So Freeman's retired 5 unassisted. Suzuki's at first on the fielder's choice and the force out.
That's getting greedy there. Instead of just starting the double play with the catcher running and go 6-4-3 or 5-4-3, he got a little greedy and made a bad throw.
So 2 on, 1 out. Ender is the batter. He flied out to left. This is one of those take advantage of your opportunities sequences for the Braves against DeGrom. And a swing and a miss. As you know, Ender is a very aggressive hitter when the Braves have runners at second or third base. But he didn't get that one. Jacob has Ender at his mercy. No balls, 2 strikes.
Going in the changeup like he did to Freeman. Throws it again. Take it the other way. Hit it to left center. Drive in that run. Easy enough to do, right?
Strike 3 at the bottom of the zone. That wasn't a strike for Sanchez a half inning ago, and now Ender's arguing with Corey Blazer. And he struck out looking for the second out.
You're exactly right, Chip. That real slow curveball he threw, that Sanchez threw last inning, was not called a strike.
And Ender, standing in center field, would have an excellent view of that play while he stood out there defensively. So it's up to Camargo with 2 outs. He homered with 2 outs in the second inning. Another one at the bottom of the zone, called a strike. This is where Jacob is so tough. Sub 200 opponents average with runners in scoring position this year. 2 on, nobody out. Now 2 on, 2 out, still tied. Now I think he's getting mad.
Well, can't blame DeGrom. If he's going to get that call, he's going to live down there.
The 0-2 pitch. And a little bouncer past the mound. Reyes charges, bare hand, fires to first, and got him. Camargo out after a head-first slide into the first base bag. Golden chance went by the boards for Atlanta in the 4th. At a lower price for $59.99. Watch every out-of-market regular season game and get a free subscription to MLB At Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv to take advantage of this special offer. Long inning for Sanchez in the Mets' third. He threw 28 pitches. Let's see if he has an easier time of it with Frazier, Jackson, and Reyes in a 1-1 game.
Got a little bit of a respite with the Braves putting some base runners on here in the top of the fourth.
Looks like Mr. Blazer has a big strike zone tonight. That one appeared off the plate, but called a strike. Phillies lead Miami 1-0. That game's in the bottom of the fourth inning. Pittsburgh leads St. Louis 3-2 in the third. Chris Archer making his Pirates debut tonight. He was greeted by Matt Carpenter, who led off the game with a home run for the Cardinals. Keep an eye on the Pirates, folks. They are playing great.
I'm sure that took a little sting of excitement out of the excitement of the Pirates fans with Archer starting tonight.
That's back toward us, and wow, fan right below us stuck his hands out and protected a couple of kids who were in harm's way. That was a heck of a play. And Sanchez now a 2-2 count. And a swing and a miss. Frazier 2 and he didn't get it. Sanchez with 5 strikeouts and 3 Mets in a row.
Put a little on, take a little off, change up again in that beautiful spot right behind the point of the plate. Even if the hitter's looking for it, there's hardly anything they can do with it there.
Jackson struck out looking his first time up and takes that one high. That's hit to short. Charlie's first chance. And Freeman dug it out. A bad throw, but Freeman saves an error. 2 outs.
Well, he does that a lot. About as good as anybody on those short hops. Nice save. Not an easy one there.
Jose Reyes is the batter. He's 0 for 1. Ground out to second. And that's taken high. Ball 1. A Camargo homer in the second for the Braves. A DeGrom RBI single in the third for the Mets. That's where we are here in game 2. Another chance for Ozzie, and Reyes will be retired, and this game heads to the 5th inning. Still a 1-1 score. Good ball game. Charlie Culberson leads off the fifth. 1-1 is your score. DeGrom and Sanchez pitching beautifully in game 2 tonight. And Charlie, who struck out his first time up, is a little tardy there at 95 miles an hour. Strike 1. It's got to be frustrating for a hitter because you know DeGrom is around the plate a lot, but his stuff is so good when the ball's around the plate it disappears when you swing.
Nothing straight. Nothing at all straight. Everything's got some movement to it.
No balls, 2 strikes. And up and away. A lot of folks wondered if the Mets would trade Jacob DeGrom or Wheeler or Matz or Syndergaard at the deadline. The answer to that was no. They believe they can compete next year with those 4 in rotation and healthy. Next season, as Culberson's down on strikes, 5 of those for DeGrom, 1 out.
Twice he's gotten Charlie. Yeah, and the guy pitching tomorrow, Wheeler, is on a roll. Talking to some of the Mets people today before the ballgame, they say, you know what? He's turned a corner. He's won 3 games in a row. He won a game his last time out 1-0. Drove in the only run of the game. So he'll be tough tomorrow.
Steven Matz is still listed as the starter on Sunday, but he came down with the dreaded forearm problem. Was to be examined by the Mets. Not sure if Matz is going to pitch here against Julio Teheran on Sunday or not. If he doesn't, Corey Oswalt is a possible replacement for the oft injured but very talented Mets left-hander. Sanchez, the 23rd pitching strikeout victim by DeGrom this year. And he chased up and away and is retired. 6 strikeouts for DeGrom, and we go to the top of the order in a 1-1 game.
Visit your nearest Advance Auto Parts store to get the quality parts you want from people that know a lot about them.
Ronald Acuna, the batter, he singled and struck out. Swing and a shot hammered toward left. Conforto on the run, not going to get there. That's up against the wall. And Acuna glides into second. He's got 2 hits against DeGrom tonight. That's his 15th double. Folks, you are seeing this young man blossom before your very eyes.
You sure are. Inside, turned on it. Similar pitch, kind of a cutter type slider that he threw him the first time he got a hit. And he's lucky this one stayed in the park.
That's 17 hits for Acuna since moving to the #1 spot on the lineup card. Let's see if Ozzie can drive him home. He almost snuck one past Reyes on the ground his last time up. A fly ball down the left field line. That's slicing near the line. That ball is fair. It's a fair ball. Ozzie has an extra base hit. Acuna scores standing up, and the Braves are back in front.
You know what? When Ozzie hit this, I don't think he knew where it went because he didn't run right away. He was looking up like, where did that go? And then took off. Backdoor breaking ball, looking, slicing, fair. That was just right.
So more 2-out magic for Atlanta. Back-to-back doubles. And now Freddie Freeman's the batter with Atlanta back in front.
58 RBIs for Ozzie.
And his 32nd double. The pitch. Oh, what a cut. Freddie was all over it and fouled it back. 0-1. Freeman's got 12 RBIs against the Mets this year. That's the team high. Markakis has 11. Ozzie just drove home his 10th. And the crowd here in New York awfully quiet for the moment. The pitch. And an even count.
The walk to Freddie leading off the 4th inning was only the 7th leadoff walk of the year for DeGrom. In what was his 142nd inning.
You can understand why they didn't trade him. He is a top of the rotation ace. But trailing tonight 2-1. The 1-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss, retires the side. But the kids at the top of the order earn straight A's again. Acuna and Albies back-to-back 2-out doubles. Ozzie puts Atlanta in front. It's a 2-1 game. Yeah, Rebecca, Rhys Hoskins is making a big-time push for the Phillies. He is some kind of player. Entered action tonight with 8 homers in his last 12 games. Not a homer tonight, but the first RBI for the Phillies, who lead the division by a half game. 7-8-9 for Sanchez. Rosario's the man that started the Mets rally with a leadoff double back in the 3rd inning. Mesoraco and DeGrom to follow. Braves just gave Anibal the lead. Let's see if he can breeze through the 5th. But he's gone. 3-0 to Rosario, who's walked just 18 times this year.
Make him swing it.
He did. And now he's back in the count, 3-2. Strike 3 got the call. There's that wide zone. And Sanchez took advantage. Rosario's rung up for a big first out of the inning.
That looked like a fastball that backed up. No, it was a change up. Wasn't a strike. Got the call. Evening out.
What a great strike zone
for these two guys. Yeah.
Right. Here's Mesoraco, who rolled out to third his first time up. Shutdown inning would be nice. Mesoraco at 228 takes a strike.
Seems to me he hit a home run against the Braves in Atlanta right after the Mets got him.
Won't this time. It's popped up. A lot of foul ground here in New York. Freddie Freeman right on the first base line is there, and 2 are out. Let's take a look at tonight's Toyota Tweet of the Week. This week's question is, which trade do you think will have the biggest impact for the Braves playoff push? Tweet us at Fox Sports Braves using the hashtag Braves Trade Deadline, and your tweet could be read on the Braves Live post-game show.
Good thing about that is there's several good candidates. Bullpen, starter, outfielder.
Freeman to his right leads Sanchez perfectly, and it is an easy inning. And a ball through 10 pitches in the fourth, about as many in the fifth, and he leads by a run.
Long fly ball deep left center. Grissom on the run. Yes! 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 The Atlanta Braves have given you a championship. Listen to this crowd.
How many of you can believe that today marks the 10th year since the passing of Skip Carey, our good friend, great Braves broadcaster, and certainly of course, the father of my pal next to me, Chip. We talked about Pete last night, and it's been 4 years. Today is 10 years for Skip, and I just got goosebumps all over again because I remember 10 years ago today. It wasn't a good day.
Yeah, it was rough. And thanks to our great crew for those fantastic pictures, and of course the memory of the final out of the '95 World Series at Fulton County Stadium. My favorite shot of all of those was watching my dad fight Muhammad Ali. and I use that term loosely. But he had a lot of fun, and he absolutely loved Braves country. And he told me the story about that. That was one of those celebrity prize fighter things that Muhammad Ali came to Atlanta to do. I think Harmon Wages took part boxing around with Muhammad Ali, and he said before the match, okay, you know, if you want to throw a couple combinations, that's fine, but don't try anything tricky because I might react. Right?
Yeah.
What do you think Dad did?
Sure.
And you just saw he paid the price.
Well, I have a real sneaking suspicion that your dad didn't feel any of those punches. That he and Harmon Wages had stopped off somewhere on the way to the ring.
The Brave Falcon, probably.
Yeah.
if I had to guess. As,
I know I would have.
Yeah, if not afterward, for sure. But we're not getting too maudlin about it. This is a tough stretch of the schedule for us every year.
Boy.
Not just my dad for selfish reasons. This one's popped up. And Rosario in left is going to drift out and give way to Conforto for out number 1. But as we mentioned last night, Pete Van Wieren passed away 4 years ago yesterday. And Ernie Johnson passed away on August the 12th. There is so much wonderful about that trio of broadcasters, not just in Atlanta history, but in baseball history, with their work on the Superstation and the far-flung Braves radio network. But Joe, the symmetry of the time that they passed, it's just uncanny, isn't it?
It is hard to take.
So for everybody who remembers Dad today, my family is forever humbly grateful, and best wishes to Paula tonight. I know that this is a tough anniversary for her, as it was for Elaine last night. We're thinking of you both and love you dearly. Suzuki, a ground ball to short. There's the second out in the 6th. Atlanta up a run.
Tell you what it does. It causes a flood of fun stories to come back. You know, they just come washing over me for both guys, and will again on the 12th. But especially for my partners, Pete and Skip, and the good times we had. Good fun.
Can you tell the fans about the?
No.
Well, it is past bedtime for a lot of the youngsters watching the game. I want you to tell quickly the flight evacuation story with my dad.
Yeah, that was a scary thing. First of all, we were on our Braves charter. I don't know where we were going, but something happened in the back galley, and the plane began to fill up with smoke. And we didn't know it up in the front of the plane, but as it worked its way forward, we had to pull to the side, and the chutes were deployed to slide down the plane. Everybody had to evacuate. I was right behind Skip, and as we were told, you know, take our shoes off and jump and land on our bottoms to slide down the slide. Well, Skip kind of came to a screeching halt. He had an atomic wedgie when he hit that, and then he had to kind of creep his way down, and the firemen were hysterical.
Jackson in center makes the play. There's some things about your dad you'd just rather not know. Jason Isbell and the 400 unit away. The 4-time Grammy Award winners will be back at SunTrust Park Saturday, August 18th to make up their post-game concert after the Braves take on the Rockies. It's brought to you by SunTrust. To get your game tickets and field passes, visit Braves.com. Anibal Sanchez is pitching a two-hitter. He leads by a run. At the top of the order coming up for the Mets. And it starts with Nimmo, who's lined out and walked.
Yeah, this is a key hitter for him in this game, I believe. Already in the 6th inning, but he's retired 8 in a row. He walked Nimmo last time up. Don't let him get something started. Good change.
Last time we saw Jacob deGrom in Atlanta, to a man, the Mets were absolutely despondent about not scoring runs for him. To a man, they just said, we don't know what to do. We don't know what to say to deGrom when he pitches so well and they can't score runs. From an offensive player's perspective, is there a little more pressure offensively when your ace is on the mound?
Oh, sure. You know, there's somebody that at the beginning of the night is going, okay, come on, tonight. Let's go. Let's get him some runs. Because you know he doesn't need many. You know, he's got an ERA under 2. You know he don't have to score many. He's got a 1.66 ERA at home. Let's just get a few runs on the board early and let him coast. And everybody starts trying to do too much.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And a swing and a miss. Boy, that pitch is diving out of sight for Sanchez. 9 up, 9 down. He's got 7 strikeouts tonight. He's trying to beat the Mets for the first time in 8 years.
Down in the zone. Looks like he got Nimmo looking for something different there.
Bautista struck out twice. And that one skipped up there. Ball 1. Bautista 0 for his last 17 at the plate. It is so fun to watch Anibal Sanchez pitch. Up,
Sure is.
down, in, out, changing speeds like that. It is
67 miles an hour and a beauty.
Our bus will be on the highway faster than that pitch. And in this era where everyone's in the mid-90s, you can see how difficult an at-bat Sanchez might be for today's modern hitter.
And there he can go upstairs if he wants at 91. He can go to 92 or 93 if he has to. It's not like he can't do that.
Well, you mentioned in the opening comments that in July, Sanchez went 6 or more innings in 5 straight starts. When the Braves starter goes 6, Atlanta usually wins. Braves have gone 6-2 in games that Sanchez has pitched 6 or more innings this year. He's got 1 out in the Mets half of inning number 6 so far tonight. Once we get through the top of the 7th, it'll be time for the stretch presented by Synovus, the bank of here. Base is empty for Jose Bautista, and here it is.
Good try. Went to a spot he thought he might get the call. Shook off a lot of signs from Kurt till Kurt ran out of signs, and he had to go find out what is it you want.
Another full count. And it's banged out of play past Glenn Sherlock, who is the Mets third base coach. And he lost Bautista. And that snaps a run of 9 straight retired for Sanchez. Second walk for Anibal, and it brings up Conforto, who's also 0 for 2.
Even though he struck out Bautista twice tonight, And even though Bautista struck out 5 times in the 2 games so far, he has the utmost respect for him. He's trying real hard not to make a mistake to Jose that would easily tie the game. Pitched around him.
A ground ball at someone would be nice right here. As with a strikeout.
And I shouldn't say he pitched around him. He did not. He was throwing pitches that were hittable. He just was trying to make sure he didn't make a mistake in the middle of the plate.
90 pitches for Sanchez with 1 out in the 6th. His spot's due 3rd in the 7th. And the Braves bullpen is stirring at the moment. And somebody down there about ready to play catch. We'll tell you who in a sec. As Bautista's chased back.
Well, the great luxury for Brian Snitker right now is, like last night, 6 innings from Foltynewicz, then an inning each from Biddle, Brock, and Minter. Tonight he could go with Carl, Winkler, and Minter, or someone else to finish the game if Minter's not able to go tonight. But he's got some balance down there now and some choices.
1 ball, 1 strike for Conforto. And this one's popped back toward us and into the seats. It's 1 and 2 for the Mets left fielder Michael Conforto. Braves are trying to win their 33rd game within the division this year. The Braves were 33 and 34 in the East last year. Dramatic improvement. Delivery. Slow roller off the plate. That's what baseball wants. You want to win your division, win your divisional games, and the Braves have done that. The Mets haven't.
They're laying off that pitch now. They've seen it enough that they are trying to stay back, even though they've been behind in the count. And a couple of strikeouts tonight, though, that following that real slow off-speed pitch, he comes back with a little stiff fastball about 91 and catches them looking. He's also had the backdoor cutter that's worked well. That's where they're going out there.
Struck him out with it. And Conforto's retired for the 2nd time on strike 3. That's 8 for Sanchez, and 2 are out.
Beauty. Just enough movement on that cutter. Just great location to start it just off the plate. Again, they give up on it. They think it's going to be a ball. And just enough break to come back to the corner.
So Todd Frazier, the batter, with Bautista at first and 2 out. This is the 3rd time Sanchez has struck out 8 men in a game this year. The previous 2 were in the month of July. Of course, Anibal's strikeout high is 17. That came against the Braves when he was with the Tigers. That's off Suzuki's mask. It's an even count for Frazier.
And he was a much different pitcher that night. Power guy, big hook.
Anibal making his 2nd start against the Mets. His first came on May 29th. That was his first game back from his right hamstring strain. The pitch is hammered just foul down the 3rd base line. Frazier just missed a double. That could have gotten interesting. Instead, it's a 1-2 count. So a lot of choices for Sanchez now. He's ahead of Frazier. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kind of with the changeup last time. Todd was way out in front, struck out, and ended up on a knee.
Yeah, I think I'd waste one here. A little off the plate. Breaking ball down and away. Let's see if that works. Nice stop, Kurt.
He's done an excellent job of keeping the ball down by design, going up for effect. He's gone through about 7 cases of baseballs, skipping it up there.
Yeah, that's right.
Right in front of Kurt Suzuki. But it's worked for him. He's given up just 2 hits. Deuce is wild for him now. And here it is. Swing and a miss. A lollipop at 68 miles an hour gives him a season high 9th strikeout. Unbelievable.
Smile about. How fun is it to see some of the game's best having a little fun on the field? You heard Freddie Freeman, Nick Markakis talk about Jacob deGrom. Freddie messing around with deGrom in the first inning after deGrom had fallen down trying to make that bunt play. Freddie quickly followed with a single off of his friend. And, you know, Freddie told me they've gotten close over the years just facing each other, and they got closer once our old friend Kelly Johnson was traded over here, and Freddie added, I like competing against the best. And, guys, safe to say deGrom is one of the best.
Indeed he is, Kelsey. 14 times this year he's given up 2 runs or less. He's 5-6 on the year, and he's down by a run after 6 tonight. Johan Camargo struck him first with a 2-out lightning bolt into the second deck in the second inning. That gave the Braves their first run. And this one's tapped to the left side. Frazier to his left, flips to first, 1 out. And here's Charlie Culberson. Charlie has struck out twice.
That was easy and really fun to see those guys having a good time in the first inning. There's not a whole lot of smiling going on right now, at least for Jacob, because he's right back where he's been all year long. Right now they're working on their 10th straight game of 2 runs or less of support.
Unbelievable. Ryan Flaherty's grabbed a bat. He's on deck. Looks like the night is over for Sanchez after 6 innings of 9 strikeout ball. Right around 100 pitches for Anibal.
Phenomenal, wasn't he?
As he's trying to beat the Mets for the first time since he was with the Marlins. And off the screen, out of play, even count.
Dan Winkler first up.
1 ball, 1 strike. And outside. DeGrom still throwing very hard. 97 on that pitch. And only 85 pitches in this game. Braves have gone after him aggressively early in the count, not to get to 2 strikes. You understand that. But that plays right into his hands.
Yeah. I was looking at some numbers today, and that first pitch is when most people can do their damage if they're going to do it. There's a 317 average against him on the first pitch.
The Braves love to swing at the first pitch. And tonight have 6 hits, 2 runs. That's been enough so far. The pitch is cut on a missed. Hat trick for Culberson. 8 strikeouts for DeGrom. And it will be Ryan Flaherty to pinch hit for Anibal. Let's hope he can keep the inning alive. When the top of the 7th does end, it'll be the stretch presented by Synovus, the bank of here.
Quick meeting about the pinch hitter. You're right about the pitch count. He's got plenty left in the tank, it would appear. DeGrom's spot in the order not coming up till 5th in the 7th. You know, there are a lot of people who are watching tonight when we keep talking about, and you hear the players talking about this guy's the best pitcher in the game right now. And there are arguments to be made for other people, and rightfully so. I mean, Max Scherzer is on top of his game. He's wonderful. Max Scherzer might be 5-6 right now too, or worse, pitching for the Mets.
Well, that's why I said earlier, I believe in the importance of the win. But anybody who follows the game is going to look at DeGrom's line and know that 5-6 isn't 5-6 for mere mortals. He has done his part to give himself and his team countless chances to win this year. But tonight, Sanchez has pitched just a little bit better. He just matched him with his 9th strikeout. 3 up, 3 down. Time to stretch in Gotham. It's 2-1 Atlanta. To win game 2 in New York, Anibal Sanchez is done after 6 innings of 2-hit, 1-run ball. Joe, he turns things over to Dan Winkler to start the home 7th.
Yeah, Dan needs a good outing. His last 21 appearances are a whole lot different than his first 26 of the year, where he was absolutely outstanding, almost unhittable. Hit a little bump in the road, but let's hope the second half starts here and he is on task. He's retired 32 of 47 first batters faced.
That's key in a 1-run game. Jackson, Reyes, and Rosario, the trio coming up. As you know, the Braves have won 4 consecutive games, and the bullpen's had a big hand in that.
Yeah, they have. Really good.
Relief corps struck out 12, 1 walk in 11 1/3 innings, and they've allowed just 1 run in relief in the last 4 games. That kind of production would be appreciated tonight, as would some offensive insurance. For the Braves bats, who will have the top of the order coming up in the 8th. Currently leading 2-1. That had some bite to it. 2-2 the count to Jackson. Season high strikeouts for Anibal Sanchez. 9 of them in 6 innings.
What a performance. He knew what he was up against tonight.
Mets were able to strand just 3 base runners tonight. And Jacob deGrom, the pitcher, is the only man with an RBI for New York.
It's the only inning they had a hit.
Amazing. The pitch is out of play. Yeah, double by Rosario. deGrom, a 1-out single. The other base runners were walks. So Dan's gone 3-2 to his first batter faced. deGrom due up 5th in this inning.
That was also the only inning they've had the leadoff man aboard.
Both Braves runs tonight have come with 2 outs, which has been a huge part of the offense all year. Nobody on, nobody out for New York here in the 7th as Winkler readies with a full count pitch. And he lost him. So trouble afoot in a 1-run game. A leadoff walk, and Reyes is coming up. Reyes has bounced out to second twice.
It's funny, but walks have not been the issue for Dan. That's the first walk he's issued in his last 7 appearances. Get a ground ball here, forget about the walk.
Boy, Reyes, as you said, real fidgety in the batter's box. Took a strike there. 0-1.
Everybody's got a little different way about getting their hands started with their swing, but his starts real late.
Pitch out, nothing doing. Almost to the screen.
Almost a pitch over. Kurt's only thrown out 1 base stealer this year, but that's not all his fault.
That's fouled back. Reyes is behind 1-2. Phillies still lead 1-0. They're batting in the 6th inning against the Marlins tonight.
See the video last night of the foul tip that hit Chris Guccione in the mask?
I missed it.
Francisco Cervelli turned around and bear hugged him to keep him from going down.
Wow.
I think had to come out of the game. I'm not 100% on that, but watching the video, it was apparent that he was being checked out by the trainers.
It's Trevor Richards and Vince Velasquez in Philly tonight. As the 1-2 pitch for Reyes is on the way, and it's hit in the air to right, pretty deep, but it's playable, and that'll be the first out. By the way, Trevor Richards for the Marlins has been outstanding. Coming into play tonight in his last 18 2/3 innings, 3 starts, he's given up 1 run. Wow, he's given up 1 tonight, and he trails 1-0. Here's Rosario. He's doubled and struck out looking. Winkler, the first reliever, out for Atlanta. We'll see how it is managed by Brian Snitker here in game 2. Back to the mound. Winkler can't make the play. It bounces right to Ozzie at the bag, and it's a double play.
There you go.
It's a good thing Dan got out of the way. That was tailor-made. Right place, right time, and for the Braves, the right result. Yeah, he did get a piece of it. It's a 1-4-3 twin killing him. We're off to the 8th.
Versus the Mets from Citi Field. Presented by Kaiser Permanente.
Atlanta 2, New York 1. We're through 7 at Citi Field in Gotham.
1 walk, 9 strikeouts, 7 innings. That's typical. And only 2 runs allowed.
And even with 90-plus pitches, DeGrom right now might be a better option than just about anybody in the Mets bullpen. You look at their numbers for the season. That's been a problem spot too. Collectively, they're pinned a 5.0 ERA. They've given up more homers than almost any team in the National League. 61 of them, which is tied for most, and almost 1.5 walks and hits per inning pitched by the relief corps.
I hate to say it, but he's probably a better option than anybody in baseball right now. Just leave him out there.
Yeah, why not? 9 strikeouts for him. And a high fly ball toward Jackson in right center. Look at that ball scoot out to the track and near the wall. He hit that a long way. 378 feet for a long, loud first out. A big night for Acuna.
He is doing some good things, isn't he? And he's taking some good swings. Squared that one up.
Ozzie with a bloop double down the left field line with 2 outs after Acuna doubled. Those back-to-back hits put Atlanta in front. And over his last 32, Ozzie's numbers are Synovus Greatness Made Here feature.
Man, oh man. 24 runs, 18 RBIs in those 32 games.
That's whacked toward right. Nimmo to the track and up to the fence, makes the play. Oh, DeGrom got nervous. Ozzie hit that one hard, and the park just big enough to hold that. 2 out.
Those are 2 deep drives that he got a lot of help from his defense on those 2. Austin and then Nimmo. Tell you what, Brandon Nimmo's a pretty good player. If he stops striking out so much, he's going to be a terrific player for the Mets.
Well, DeGrom trying to finish with a flourish. He set down 9 straight after the Albies go-ahead double. He's hoping Freddie Freeman will be his final hitter. He's due up second in the New York 8th. And he's quickly ahead. No balls, 2 strikes. 8, 9, and 1. The order for the Mets in the bottom of this inning.
Throwing changeup after changeup to Freddie. Not there.
Corey Blazer, the Home plate umpire delighted Mesoraco stopped that. Otherwise, that would have rung his bell. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Little bouncing ball toward Frazier. Cuts it off. Double clutch. Close play. And they got him. Batista with a stretch. And that will end the inning. 10 up, 10 down for DeGrom. His fate in the hands of his bench and bullpen. Refreshing finish. A lot of smiles, a lot of laughs, a lot of great pitching, and some clutch hitting too from the Braves' 3 amigos: Camargo, Albies, and Acuna. And let's not forget the wily veteran Anibal Sanchez tonight.
What a great job by Anibal, knowing he couldn't give up a ton of runs tonight. He only allowed 1, and those guys you were talking about able to parlay the Braves offense into a 1-run lead. Jacob DeGrom, who used to have long hair, an outstanding effort, but he's on the short end again. He'll probably be pinch hit for here in the 8th.
So the Braves make a couple of changes. First of all, Dansby Swanson is going to come in and relieve Charlie Culberson. Dansby will play shortstop, and it's Jesse Biddle who will face the 8, 9, and 1 spots on the Mets lineup card.
1 inning last night. No hits or walks. Struck out a batter.
First pitch, line drive, right field. Markakis got there and hung up for him. 1 pitch, 1 out.
That's exactly what that did, Chip. That stayed in the air a long time, didn't it?
Thought for a minute that was big time trouble, but Nick closed the gap. And the leadoff man is retired, and now Wilmer Flores will come up. This guy scares you.
Sure does. This is a role I think that he's perfectly suited for. I mean, he's a good player anyway, but to come off the bench in any situation late in the game against a hard thrower coming out of an opponent's bullpen, he can turn around a fastball.
So he's going to bat for DeGrom, who pitched 8 brilliant innings of 2-run ball, but trails in the game 2-1. 8 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, a walk, 9 strikeouts for Jacob DeGrom again tonight. Ball 1. If you can get Flores to hit the ball on the ground, you ought to be able to get him. But he has been awesome as a pinch hitter. 6 for 15 with 2 home runs. And 10 homers overall this year. The man who wept when he heard the rumor that he was about to be traded as a member of the Mets is happy he's been able to stay. Here to go.
Ooh, boy. Generous.
Flores will turn 27 in 3 days. And he lifts this one to right. That's playable for Nick. And he's in 7 or 8 steps. There's the second out. Now we go back to the top of the order, and Brandon Nimmo. The Cover Your Bases campaign is a partnership between the Braves and the American Cancer Society that helps educate fans about the importance of sun safety. There are 10 sunscreen stations located throughout SunTrust Park to help keep you covered. To locate them and make a donation, visit braves.com/coveryourbases. Nimmo 0 for 2 with a walk. Strike one.
Hitting .230 against left-handers. 87 at bats. 36 strikeouts.
Crowd tonight 25,101 at Citi Field. A rainy late afternoon has turned into a cool, breezy, comfortable night, and hopefully the same weather tomorrow for Game 3. Special night coming up. The pitch. Strike 2. Kevin Gossman will make his Braves debut. Zach Wheeler, the Atlanta native, will pitch for the Mets. As Joe said, he's been on a roll. That ought to be a treat.
Ought to be a real good matchup. Really anxious to see Gossman in a Braves uniform.
Biddle a strike away from sending this one to the ninth. And now the 1-2. We'll do it again. Red Sox lead the Yankees 4-1. That game's in the bottom of the 8th inning. Boy, there's a lot of angry Yankee fans after they were blown out yesterday.
I'll say.
Yankees are 6.5 back of Boston in the AL East. The 1-ball, 2-strike count. Here it comes. Didn't offer. Cleveland has a 10-game lead in the AL Central. Houston a 5-game lead over Oakland. Oakland has passed Seattle out west. Phillies, the Cubs, and the Dodgers, the division leaders in the National League. And the 2-2. Full count. Bautista next. Let's worry about him in the ninth.
No walks. Make him swing. Make a good pitch.
Strike 3 call. Biddle gets him with a high 88-mile-an-hour cutter or slider.
Yeah, that was beauty.
places. And by SunTrust. Confidence starts here.
Well, the Braves trying to track on some insurance runs as we head to the 9th inning. The Braves are up 2-1 over the Mets. And the Braves tonight are going for their 11th win of the season already over New York to clinch at least a series split. And we're going to be here with you tomorrow night, getting you ready for Game 3 with our coverage starting at 6:30 p.m. on Fox Sports South or Fox Sports Go. Kevin Gausman making his Braves debut. He'll take on Zach Wheeler. Gausman looking to improve that 4.43 ERA. He tells me he's even more excited to get out there after watching this young Braves team play these past few nights, guys.
This has been a classic, Kelsey. Thank you. Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing Kevin pitch tomorrow, too. We've got 1 inning to play in New York. Atlanta leads by a run. Anthony Swarzak is on for his 22nd appearance. He's had an injury-plagued season. An oblique problem cost him some time. April 2nd to June 4th. That's a long time to be hurt.
It sure is. And he's got a good arm. He's mid-90s with a slider.
And Nick greets him with a foul ball back toward us. Strike one. Last year, Swarzak pitched in Chicago with the White Sox and with the Brewers. 70 games, 20 earned runs, 91 strikeouts in 77 innings. So you're right. That's a good arm that has been unavailable for most of the season for the Mets. Markakis, Suzuki, and Ender coming up. 2-1 Atlanta. All the Braves runs with 2 outs again tonight. It's into the upper tank, out of play. It's still 0-2. Miami has a threat in the 7th, 1st and 3rd. 1 out in the 7th. Trailing the Phillies 1-0. Phillies by a half game over the Braves in the division. And the 0-2 pitch.
Nick had some good swings off DeGrom, hit that deep drive to left field to end the 1st inning, and then hit that rocket that almost clipped Freddie in the 4th.
131 hits for Markakis on the year now. And that one is downstairs. I saw a stat earlier today and it boggled my mind. Of all the strikes Nick Markakis has seen this year, he has swung and missed at 8% of them.
That's not many.
So it's either called or fouled off 92% of the time.
Wow.
You know how good he is with 2 outs and 2 strikes at the plate. That might explain why. This one's lifted into shallow right. Reyes drifts out. Nimmo comes in, and there's out number 1. August is Chipper month. We'll be back in town Friday, August 10th. First 20,000 fans at SunTrust Park get a Chipper Jones Hall of Fame replica plaque presented by SunTrust. And the first 20,000 fans through the doors Saturday, August 18th will get a Chipper Crazy Train bobblehead presented by Napa. Can't wait for that. Mets have retired the last 11 Braves hitters. Last night they set down the final 16 but lost 4-2. Tonight the Braves lead by a run, 2-1. And a check swing is fouled away. In the 9th inning, New York will have their 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up. Bautista, Conforto, and Frazier. That trio has struck out a combined 6 times, all of them against Sanchez. And that's hit to third. In between Hop. Good play by Frazier. And a perfect throw.
Nice play. That was a tough in between Hop. Well, that was a good camera angle watching his eyes focus on the baseball.
So enters the final Atlanta hope in the ninth. Ender is 0 for 3 in this game. Not a bad idea, but strike one. Miami did not score in the 7th inning, so it's still Phillies 1, Miami nothing.
Well, what's wrong with them? They sure don't let the Braves slide like that when they get guys on.
No. No balls and a strike. Base is empty. The pitch. Right there at the knees.
Tried to get that one to back up, almost made it. Yeah, it's tough when a team's got a guy like this with this good live arm and they have to go a couple of months without him.
One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And here it is. Laced out of play. I think the Mets have a bobblehead night tomorrow night. I think it's Noah Syndergaard as Thor bobblehead. So we'll have a big crowd here for game 3.
Cool.
It's also Kiss Behind Home Plate night. The 1-2 is fouled away. And the 1-2 pitch. Good fight here by Ender.
Good swing at that high fastball.
Pitch number 15 for Swarzak is due. And here we go. Cardinals are trying to creep back in Pittsburgh. 6-5 Pirates in the 6th inning. That was Chris Archer's Pittsburgh debut tonight. Matt Carpenter homered to start the game for St. Louis. Here it's 2-1 Atlanta, 2 outs in the 9th. Love it. Later on tonight, the Giants visit Arizona. Chris Stratton and Patrick Corbin.
I can't figure out the Giants. Can you?
Nope.
They've won 4 in a row. They beat Zach Greinke last night. They're only 5 games out of first. 10 games over 500 at home, but 8 games under on the road. And have a good record against their own division, 28-24. Could they somehow get on a run?
I'm not counting out a team managed by Bruce Bochy.
No.
Or a team that has Madison Bumgarner in rotation. The 2-ball, 2-strike count is hit hard to right and caught by Reyes. A late break. I'm not sure he saw that ball.
What a shame. What a great at bat by Enciarte.
So we head to the bottom of the 9th inning. Reyes reached out. The ball found leather, and the Braves lead by a run. ball game, it was a biggie. Johan Camargo in the second inning gave the Braves a lead. Let's check it out on StatCast AI powered by AWS.
Quick hands through the zone. Second deck. Says 375. I had all of that. It's 370 to the base of that screen right there. First run of the game and a big one off DeGrom.
So A.J. Minter is on for the bottom of the ninth inning. Back-to-back nights.
And when he's working on 0 days rest, in other words, back-to-back, his ERA a little higher than it is when he's got a little break in there. Get the first guy. Heart of their order.
And that first guy is Batista, who struck out twice, walked once.
Snitker said today in a pregame interview that Minter is the closer. Just a matter of monitoring his work. How many days in a row can he close games? This is 2 days in a row.
21 pitches for him last night. 2 pitches ought to take care of Batista as Dansby drifts back, and there's the first out of the ninth inning. The beauty of the way the bullpen's set up tonight is if you don't want to use Minter in a closing situation for a third day in a row, the Braves, Joe, now have an experienced major league closer out there as well in Brad Brock.
Yeah, that's invaluable to have that guy out there with his experience.
Bautista's out number 1. Here's Conforto. He's 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. And taken low, ball 1.
.263 hitter this year against lefties. Better than righties. Yes, he did.
Remember last year for A.J. Minter, the Braves were very reluctant to use him in back-to-back games. In fact, that was the case for just about every reliever out there for Brian Snitker. This year, some of those training wheels have been taken off.
Well, they needed to be, because the team was playing so well. It's kind of like these guys had to get a little closer to the fire, and they've responded well.
2 balls and a strike. Base is empty. The pitch lifted toward left center. Ender's going to have plenty of room to catch that, and the Braves run out away from beating DeGrom. And Todd Frazier, the final hope.
You get him to hit it to center field in this ballpark with the Braves guy, you like your chances. A lot of room to run around.
408 feet. Straightaway center. And this park used to be even bigger. They had to move the fences in a couple of years ago. They moved them in a lot. But still a cavernous pitcher's park. 2 outs, nobody aboard for Frazier. Shift on for him. Look at where Johan Camargo is playing. If he sneezes, he'll be in foul territory.
Better cutter tonight for Minter than last night.
Good velocity too after 21 pitches last night, and 21 stressful pitches for that matter.
Yeah, you want the leadoff guy.
Right. And then struck out Frazier, and then struck out Plawecki to end the game. He's hoping history repeats itself with the Mets third baseman here. Ball 2. Austin Jackson's on deck. The Braves want to worry about him tomorrow night. Bouncing ball left side, off the glove of Camargo. Miracle throw, just an eyelash late. Even after the fumble, he almost got Frazier. But no such luck. Jackson will come up with a man aboard.
Got to know your defense setup, though. I know he's good at cutting the ball off and perhaps should have had that. But with them playing 3 men on the left side for Frazier, Dansby's right there. And he took it away from him. Most of the time he's making that play. But with everybody playing to pull, he had extra help to his left.
And clearly safe was Frazier. So the game continues with Jackson up there. That was a vicious cutter. Strike one.
The Braves defense, we talk about it all the time, has been so good. This is where A.J. Minter has to pick up his defense.
No balls and a strike. Bouncing ball to Freddie. He's got it, and the Braves have beaten the Mets. Minter the save. Anibal Sanchez outduels Jacob deGrom, who again, Joe, gives up 2 runs and loses. He's 5-7 on the year, and Atlanta's won the first 2 games here in Gotham. Unbelievable.